Hello people, I am back with another fantastic video of me talking into the microphone and barely doing anything. Today's topic, being the same, being nonchalant, and being cringe. I like to call it the same spiral. That's not what it is, but it definitely is a cycle. Usually it starts off with someone who is cringe, right? Then they realize, or they get put down, and then they start being nonchalant, really suppressing their interest. And then them being nonchalant eventually leads to them just blending in with the crowd and being the same clone that everyone else has seen before. So why I don't like things being the same? Personally, it's boring. You can tell me, oh my goodness, you can sit here and tell me you see the same. I'm going to use black people for an example because I'm black, so I think I could talk about this. You can see like 5 niggas who have just dreads, right? I'm going to use hairstyles for an example because like that's the main things I speak about. 5 niggas that have dreads, right? Can you even tell them apart? Can you differentiate, if that's the word, them from each other? No. And it's a shame too, because that's the main hairstyle since 2022 that most black guys go for. It's really disappointing too, because I'm like, I know damn well you don't really fuck with them. If you do, that's cool, that's fine, you live your life, bro. But most of the time it's just trend hopping. I have a friend who's been trying to go dreads for that time, and I'm like, nigga, do you even want that, or do you just want it because everyone else has it and it quote unquote makes you look cooler? I mean, I didn't have dreads per se, but I had twists not too long ago. Yes, I did kind of like them, but at the same time, I was really stubborn in getting them and even having it, because I'm like, now I just look like every other guy. I just look like every other nigga. Where's my character? It's better than having a fucking Smash Bros afro. And another thing about things being the same is that it just kind of kills originality as well. I've seen a video not too long ago about a guy complaining about fandoms and fandom spaces, and how, actually no, this one leans into the whole cringe aspect. So we all know fandoms, how they can be cringe, right? The whole shipping stuff. Personally, I don't find it cringe, but I'm just gonna what general people say. They say the whole shipping aspect is cringe, or the animation memes are cringe, which yes, I did used to believe when I was younger, but now that I've grown up and really think for myself, I'm realizing that all that stuff kind of just makes fandoms in general. If you don't have that in your fandom, and you just have power scaling, is it really a fandom? Can you even really call it a space you can share like your interests? And that's another thing, because like most fandoms like that just sort of die off after a couple years, and people complain about it and say it's a problem, when no, that's just how fandom culture has been for the longest, pushing those people out and trying to make their fandom more catering to them, which is boring. As I said, I'm into My Hero fandom. Yes, I like My Hero, big fan, love it. And I can admit it's one of the weirdest fandoms out there. And seeing a bunch of people complain about the whole shipping stuff, I mean, yeah, some of the shippings like can get out of hand about the whole, I don't even need to get into it, y'all niggas already know. They complain about that, and like they just trying to turn it to power scaling and stuff like that. But like that's lame, that's boring, it's not fun. Baby's first fandom, that's the best thing I can say about that. But now let's say you were into that, and then you get pushed away because it was too cringe. Now what? Now you're suppressing what you're really into to blend in with everyone else. You're more laid back now. You're more simple. Not simple, but more calm. That leads into the whole cringe going into nonchalant. Now let's say I meet you, right? You're a complete stranger. I just decided to talk to you, and I'm trying to ask you about yourself, right? And all you have to say is like, I just be doing my own thing, or I be doing nothing. Like, how am I supposed to engage with you on a deeper level if all you have to say is like 2-word responses? Now, if I'm trying to tell you about something or what I'm interested in, and you just give basic responses and you say nothing, how am I supposed to go off that? You're not doing anything. You're doing an act. Okay, let's cut the bullshit. You're acting all cool and like you don't care. For what? For who? You're not gonna get anywhere with it. No one's gonna want to talk to you. So there's no point in being nonchalant or trying to. And on top of it, niggas that are nonchalant, unironic, like ironically enough, they tried to niggas that are nonchalant try their best not to be seen as corny, but that's exactly what you are. There's this video of this one guy who was at like a school fair or a school assembly, and he was ignore that. He was doing tug of war, and then when he was finished, the nigga put his hands in his pocket and put up a peace sign. Like, brother, you are doing the complete opposite of what you want. If you want to be nonchalant and not be seen, you wouldn't do some dumb shit like that. Now, you made yourself look even more cringe. So you've unintentionally or intentionally, I don't know, nigga, made yourself what you don't want to be. Being nonchalant also kills originality. There was this one post I seen on Twitter of, let me take a look at it real fast. A post I seen on Twitter, a guy had a fucking Invader Zim bag, dyed green hair, and a green and black jacket, right? And then the caption said, "Get me out of this." Basically complaining about how this guy is different, when in the picture you can see every other nigga who's just wearing black and not expressing themselves at all. Like, God forbid someone wants to show who they are through their clothing, which clothing is just an external way for you to express yourself. Another post I seen about a nigga calling his Uber driver a nerd for listening to Final Fantasy music. Another thing I've noticed, a guy who was in an Uber and his Uber driver was playing Final Fantasy music, and he said, "My Uber driver a nerd." I mean, yeah, first off, nigga, you're the one in an Uber, okay? You don't got a fucking car, so you have no room to talk at all. And it's his car. He can play whatever music he wants. You might not agree with it, but he's still, once again, expressing himself through a media that isn't just verbal or clothing, you know? And for my final point, how being nonchalant eventually just leads to things being the same. It's like I said before, just once you realize, once the joy and whimsy is out of your eyes, you end up just being the other follower in the crowd. You lost your identity, and now you just have automated responses. You can't really converse with people. You just sort of have to go with what everyone else says. You just have to fit yourself into an archetype instead of being your own character. Also, about someone I knew before, how they were also like, they sort of like more into the whole the best I can say is like street life, and they were never able to express their more nerd-like or quote-unquote loser interests, so they sort of just have to repress it for just an extreme amount of time, and that can kill someone, honestly. If I had to sit there and not be able to express what I'm really into for years on end, I would kill myself, honestly. Like, I wouldn't want to do that. I would wish that upon my worst enemy, actually. But you get what I'm trying to say. Like, no one should have to go through that. You should be able to surround yourself with people who will accept those things and not look at you differently if you're into that type of stuff, excuse me. But yes, what is your takeaway from my video? Be yourself. As lame as that sounds, for the love of God, please be yourself. Live. Don't let the opinion of others fuck you over so you can fit in. Okay, you can't match a square where the triangle is supposed to go.